What's up, fellow filmmakers? Rickey here. Today we're doing a comparison between the GH5 and the new Sony A7iii. So this is going to be kind of an unscientific review. We're not really diving into the specs too much, but more of just a side-by-side comparison on the same settings to see which camera performs the best. Check it out. It is hot up here, about 100 degrees in smoky Northern California. I've owned the GH5 for about 6 months. I've shot corporate work, professional client, paid work, sorry about my phone, on it, as well as YouTube stuff, probably over 100 videos. I absolutely love this camera. So this video might be a little biased because this is my first day playing with the A7 III. I've had the GH5 for 6 months, but I'm gonna try and keep this comparison as unbiased as possible.
First, we tested the IBIS, or internal stabilization, on each camera. In terms of this test, the GH5 was definitely more stable, which makes sense because there's more room in there for that little micro Four Thirds sensor to bounce around, kind of like suspension on a mountain bike. In terms of size, these cameras are honestly pretty similar. The A7 III is definitely a little smaller than the GH5, but not by much. Personally, I like the way the GH5 feels in my hands better. It feels a little more sturdy, like a Canon.
The one thing that really sucks is the A7 III doesn't have a flip out screen like the GH5 does. So if I was riding like this right now with the A7, I couldn't even see myself or where the framing is. It's just way harder to film yourself. So if you're gonna vlog, GH5 for sure.
Here's the flip out screen on the Sony. It's also much more reflective when you're in broad daylight than the GH5, and it's really hard to see. Maybe I'm obsessing over it a little bit too much, but I love the flip out screen on the GH5. I use it every single day and I'm constantly moving it around. Lastly, we tested the autofocus. I already knew it was terrible on the GH5, I just wanted to see how it compared to the A7 III. The autofocus on the A7 III worked much better than the GH5, and I'm super jealous about that. Not at all to my surprise, the GH5 took forever to snap into focus. I shoot in manual for pretty much everything I do except when I'm filming myself. So I guess if you're not going to vlog or film yourself often, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Just for fun, I wanted to compare the slow motion functions. Both cameras will shoot a glorious 120 frames per second at 1080 HD. In terms of shooting 4K slow motion, only the GH5 is capable of that. It'll shoot 60 frames per second at 4K, whereas the A7 III will only shoot 1080.
All right, so you've seen a lot of side-by-side comparisons. I know there's a lot of stuff we didn't touch on because I didn't want to go too deep into the technical aspects, really just the practical stuff. But I really want to quickly wrap up now and end this video with some of my final thoughts about the GH5 and the A7 III. The GH5 is a no-brainer over the A7 III for me for multiple reasons. Number one, the better screen, the flip-out screen and the screen that lets you twist and turn it however you need to. When I use this for vlogging, I need to be able to see myself for framing purposes, and I just can't do that with the A7 III. Next, it has 4K 60 frames slow motion, which the A7 III doesn't have. Basically, if I want to post a video in 4K with any slow motion at all, I can do that with the GH5, but I can't do that with the A7 III.
The last main benefit of the GH5 is the amazing IBIS. I do a lot of run and gun style shooting, and the GH5 is just amazing when you're shooting handheld.
That being said though, I'm not discrediting the A7 III at all. That is an amazing camera for a certain type of person. That kind of person is someone who shoots indoors a lot, maybe a lot of weddings, a lot of event photography or videography because the low light is so much better than the GH5. I can't even start to explain how bad the low light is on the GH5. That's like the one thing I absolutely hate. But I don't shoot indoors much. I'm mainly outside during the day, so it doesn't matter to me. But if you're someone that shoots weddings and events, definitely would go for the A7iii over the GH5. With that massive light trapping sensor that the A7iii has, comes a much better looking bokeh than the GH5. It just has like a better, more like washy, dreamy looking, like really buttery, crispy, good bokeh. This video is only comparing the video capabilities between the two cameras, but hands down, the photos are way better on the A7iii. So if you're looking for one camera that has better photo and video, the combination, I would go with the A7iii. I would say the A7iii is like 1/3 video, 2/3 photo, whereas the GH5 is like the other way around. I'd say it's about 2/3 video, 1/3 photo. I can get pretty good photos out of my GH5, but nothing like I've seen from the A7iii. It's just much better for photos. That's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more. Give this video a like, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I will most definitely get back to you. Have a good weekend, or whenever you're watching this, it's Saturday for me, but peace.